I am I want to say, I don't think saddened is the right word, but my brain is kind of fried this morning. So it's the only word that I'm going to use right now. I am saddened that I feel like my school district did me a great disservice, that apparently other school districts across the nation decided to add alien abduction protocols to their trainings this year. And I did not get one in my district.
I want to know
Therefore,
what if
I personally was not able to interject all kinds of fun commentary to my professional development meetings that I would have
lame.
had on tap, right? I would have had amazing interjections.
We didn't read Ice Planet Barbarians for nothing.
I did the research this summer. I would have been prepared. I would have been a wealth of information to that professional development course, and they did me a disservice.
Yeah, hell yeah, you should have
I feel
absolutely
personally
garbage.
victimized.
Because you didn't get to discuss. Dude, imagine that if you got to bring up Ice Planet Barbarians in a meeting.
I feel personally victimized by this. I just want you to know. But I've already offered my services to some people that did not have the day off, that if their districts decided to have meetings, I could be of service to them. If they needed extra commentary notes, I could jump in for them and give them. So
That's fantastic.
I'm hoping that I will be called up for that duty because that will just make my summer research worth it.
Oh, listen.
But you know what? I'm not surprised because they dropped the ball in a lot of trainings. So it is what it is.
You could live in Florida.
That is also true. Where's my money? So the Republican debate was this week, and we have some delusional men on that stage. I want to know where my money is, that apparently single women are being incentivized by the government and being given money for not having husbands, and it is ruining the foundation of youth in America. And that's what's wrong with schools. That is where that went. That was their argument, because there's no two-person mother-father households, and it's ruining our youth, and that's what's wrong with schools.
Literally, all I hear is "fuck women," and we need to go back to when men owned women.
But regardless, I don't care about the rest of that nonsense.
Money?
I want to know where my money is.
I was single
Bitch,
for a long
where's my
time.
money? No, you're not married. It still counts.
Where's my money?
Bitch, where is my money? Pay up, man. I'll take that in monthly installments.
How much
yearly,
are we
even,
talking here, though?
Right, like, I don't know. Apparently, it's enough to incentivize us to stay single, as if we needed more incentive.
My personality is enough. I didn't know that I was also incentivizing with money. Is that why I'm such a bitch? It's because I know that I'm gonna get incentivized, so I need to be an actual bitch.
Honestly, I feel like they could have incentivized it the other way and swayed a lot of people.
If they enough money, I'll marry somebody. Right?
But apparently that they're just talking out of their ass. And there was also apparently this poor lady that this was also said by a man. He was telling a story about a lady.
Is it the lady with
the penny in the pan?
Penny in the pan.
Regardless, all I care about is the comments. So basically, all everyone needs to know is apparently there's only 2 choices for Halloween this year. It's either Barbie or Penny in the Pan. Those are your only choices. And you can choose any pan you desire. It could be a lasagna pan. It could be a pasta pan. It could be a pot even. I've seen some memes of that. It could.
Do I just get a pan, put a penny in it, and then put it on my body? Does that work?
You could dress up like a giant penny.
Or I can dress up as a giant pan and then
put a fake and Spencer penny. Can be the penny. or your kid can be the penny.
But yes, what movie did we watch? Since everyone's going to know what it says in the title, but here we are.
So Friday, we discussed Red, White, and Royal Blue. It is a book to movie experience. They made a movie out of it. So for a special episode, we watched the movie.
This is our second book to movie episode. Our first one was a long time ago when we did Wait With Me. So we
were feeling that we need another one.
Yeah.
So
So
we won't be saying yeah by the end.
this isn't going to be a recap, I guess, of the whole thing. I mean, we can, but we just recapped the entire book. I mean, this is like...
They changed a lot.
They did change a lot, and I'm going to be honest, there were some changes that I'm glad they made, and there's some changes
there
I'm
were
glad
some
they
good
didn't.
changes. There were some good changes. There were some what the fuck changes, but there were some good changes. It was weird.
I'm going to preface this by saying if I had not read the book, I would have liked it more. It's hard when I'm comparing two different things to each other, but I think that, and I had this discussion with Spencer,
okay,
that
if we're going to start out saying that, then I'm going to say probably not.
Yeah.
The concept and the story of the movie was great in comparison. However, the two main actors of the movie, while fine on their own, had zero connection to each other on screen.
Really? Because I felt like they did. I
felt like Alex had more of a connection on screen to his mother.
I don't.
When he was sitting in her lap, they were closer and had a better connection than any of the scenes with Henry.
See, I felt differently. But that's the joy of our opinions, is there are opinions.
But and that's something that I missed from the book, that their connection from the book was so palpable.
We'll get to it. The one thing off the top is my main complaint about the entire movie is June is not in this movie. Absolute trash.
And she is a huge portion of the book.
There was a couple really big changes that I felt were super important.
Not necessary?
No, that were super important to the book that they either changed completely or took completely out of the movie. And in my opinion, it was so integral to the actual book itself and the story that taking out felt weird. I did read an interview that the director wanted to make the story more focused on Henry and Alex than all the extra stuff around it. But I feel like taking some of that stuff out, and again, like this is why I said if I hadn't read the book and known all this stuff ahead of time, I probably would have liked it, because comparing and being like, well, shit, like this was important.
Yes, we probably would not have missed June not knowing she was there. However, I feel like she was such a large part of the book.
Yeah.
But that being said, the movie is not a direct comparison.
No.
I felt like they just took a loose interpretation of the book and made their own version.
Yeah.
Plain and simple.
Yeah, absolutely. So
which changes the game.
Yeah, and there were certain like scene changes. I have opinions.
It's hard for people who read the book that want that experience and want to connect to those scenes that they like. Yeah, I was gonna say I got lots of notes too.
I got 4 pages of notes. So we'll just start right in. Did they start in the book right at the royal wedding?
No.
Okay, I didn't think so.
Because but they couldn't. They started with June and Alex, so they with no June, they could not start.
And we didn't get any back information about Nora. Nora is still in this movie, and I wrote Nora is still awesome.
But she was such a small,
she was a smaller part
character that if this was a book, we would have complained about her in the style of she was not a fleshed out character.
I did say that at least both the male actors looked age appropriate, so that was good.
So in the book, you and I both agreed that Henry seemed like he should have been the top and that he was the heavier force in the book and he was that like more big dick energy kind of thing. And they totally
made him that in the movie.
Nerfed him in the movie.
I feel like that they made him more aggressive in the movie.
Henry?
Yeah.
I think it was the other way around. They nerfed him and made him this baby, this whiny ass little bitch.
All right, I guess when I say
totally made him a bottom.
So, except for in some of the scenes where he's literally shoving Alex into walls and stuff. So that's what more so what I meant is like during those scenes.
Personality-wise.
Oh, personality-wise, yeah, they nerfed him because I liked Henry more in the books and I liked Alex more in the movie. And I also felt like they made Alex less douchey because I had the big issue with how Alex behaved in the book. So they made him more likable and less douchey in the movie versus the book. So they kind of like swapped their personalities a little bit, which is
That's what I meant. They seemed like the swap. And they made such a big deal in the book about how much shorter Alex is than Henry.
And Alex
in the
is
movie,
taller
yeah.
in the movie. It's fucking wild. I will say the opening song, solid choice. Solid choice. The music in this entire movie was fantastic.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
Still, I was like, where is June? What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? And I said, why does Alex sound like that? Because, okay, Alex is a Texas kid, okay? And I understand that you don't necessarily have to have that Texan accent, but they went out of their way to make the president of the damn United States have that Texas accent. And Alex sounds like he's from fucking Brooklyn.
Yeah, it's weird.
It's weird.
Also, the other big change that they made was Henry drives fast cars and he didn't ride a horse in the beginning. I got thrown off. I was like, why are we? I'm like, there's no way.
They changed a lot of those weird little things. And they took out all the Star Wars stuff.
Oh my God.
That was like a central theme throughout the book. I was
so upset about that. I was like, no fucking Star Wars? What the hell? And
but I did like that they added a bunch of quippy dialogue between everybody.
Yes.
And it was funny and it was cute. It was fast paced and it flowed everything together that I didn't feel like the book had as much.
Yes. They made some changes that probably should have been in the book. Realistically, to fix some things.
Yeah.
Not everything, obviously, because, you know, the hospital scene was still there.
And I did say the movie attempted to fix plot holes. However, they still didn't fix one of the biggest plot holes for me. Okay. And we can wait to get there. That's fine. But
okay. The hospital's closet scene is still there. I still think it's funny.
Except they took out all the bodyguards except Amy. So now it's Amy guarding the closet.
Yeah.
Not only did they take out all the bodyguards except Amy, but they lessened Amy's role. So now we don't actually know who Amy is as a person, which she was a great person to learn about in the book. And now we know she has a dog.
Yeah.
Boo-hoo.
The one thing that they did fix in this, and this sounds so stupid, the issue I had with the book was the amount of gay jokes or like little quips, and they pretty much took all of them out.
Yes.
Which I personally appreciated because we all know.
And they took out your PowerPoint presentation, and I was like, Crystal happy now?
Yeah, no, because I was really annoyed with just how obvious it was.
They changed the timeline a lot. They changed the expectations. Yes. They changed almost everything.
They changed how they met.
Yes. Yeah. They changed everything.
And the other thing is there's no Luna in this book.
And they added the newspaper guy. And they changed Alex's entire backstory and his entire history with men and all this stuff, which honestly I think was a change for the better in a way. Yes and no, only because of the fact that they cut out all these characters that helped him get to.
My issue with it is I preferred when he was confused about his sexuality and trying to learn more about it. It kind of got taken away, like his struggle as far as like learning that, oh wait, I am bisexual.
And that's fine. Honestly, I don't like those books that they have to sit there and struggle. I like when they know who they are. And
we talked about that, but I enjoyed how they did it in the book, and I was kind of
and I didn't have a problem with how they did it in the book necessarily. I just have a problem with those types in general.
I know. I wish that there was more representation about it, because like I said before, like having, like, I understand like he admits being bisexual and all that other stuff, but like having that struggle as a representation for men,
I think that was the point. That it was representing that it's okay just to be a normal couple, and it's okay to be secure in who you are.
No, I understand.
They had enough going on.
I understand that, but I'm saying, like, to see his struggle, some people could probably relate to the struggle that he was going through at the time.
I feel like everything's made about the struggle, though. That's why it's nice when it's not.
With their relationship, yeah, but not his internal struggle.
No. I meant shows about that or movies about that.
I'm just saying, we're talking about this, though. They made it a big deal in the book, and it's not in the movie. Like
I know, but I think that's why they didn't, because
I think it's dumb. I thought
every single time there's a gay couple in a movie or something, it's always about, oh, I don't even know if I'm gay.
I've never seen that. I've always seen people who are already secure in that, so that might be. But that was a huge part for me in the book that I really enjoyed, and I liked seeing that. And then, of course, like his whole admission to Nora about everything was completely different, and I didn't like it. So it just, the flowy.
Like I said, this was a very loose based story from the book.
I hated the journalist.
It was a weird way to, but here we are again, because so he was the one who did it, but here we are again. The fact that they started emailing again was not explained, and it was even worse in the movie as a plot hole than the books, because at least the books they talked about great writers and the presence that are and the old queens and kings that wrote back and forth to each other. At least they touched on that a little bit, but they didn't even do that here. So it was just all of a sudden they were emailing each other.
I will say though, I do like how they portrayed the texting and everything with the pop-ups on the screen. I liked when they were talking next to each other, but they were text messages, but they were in the same room.
And they'd put the body, right.
I really liked that visual representation of that. I like when texting like that is put similar into a movie like that. That was a really good creative choice. Personally, I did enjoy that. The turkey scene, I wish it was longer.
Right, because that was a cute, but they changed all kinds of weird things that I don't think was necessary also. Like that little part about when Alex sent over his mom's old campaign buttons instead of in the movie it's t-shirts. I don't just, why was that change necessary? It doesn't matter. You know what I mean? It doesn't really matter either way. That's just an example of weird things that they changed.
I was upset that we didn't learn much about Nora. The other part that did upset me, because they don't have June, they paired Nora with Pez, and I was not happy about that.
And he doesn't go by Pez in the movie.
No, he doesn't.
And because they don't have June and all this stuff, his parents are still married.
I hated that. I was so upset about that.
And yet somehow his dad can still be a Texas congressman, even though in the book he's California. But
yeah, the huge problem I had with them being still together
is legally allowed.
I don't know. Well, they didn't care. The huge thing I had too is because I know that his parents being divorced was such a huge bonding moment for him and Henry together. So taking that out, like, I was mad because
that's what I'm saying. I didn't feel the connection between these guys. They just went fast and they didn't really build that.
Once they took June out, it was like, do whatever you want. But the relationship he had with his dad was such like a huge point between him and Henry, and it just kind of sucked.
There was no connection with Nora, like there was no relationship with Nora.
And the other thing too is they changed the midnight kiss as well.
Yeah.
And I will say that Henry's little dance at the New Year's Eve party was kind of cute. I thought it was adorable when he started like getting into it. But there was the weird eyes across the room.
Yeah, that was weird. But his dirty talk game was lame.
Well, yeah.
All of them. Like every time they opened their mouth to say something to each other, it was awkward and lame and weird. That's what I'm saying. I felt no connection between the two of them. I felt more of a connection with Nora and him on screen, his mom and him. I felt more of a connection when his dad was on screen with him. Oh, I felt more of a connection with Alex and the newspaper fucker guy.
Dude, I hated that guy so much.
Me too, but they had more on-screen connection.
See, I didn't feel that way.
I felt like they were awkward together. They weren't comfortable around each other. They needed to take a page out of the book and be forced to bro hang out until they got comfortable with each other to play this role. That's how I felt.
I did like all the erection jokes. They were very funny, especially after they kissed.
Big Ben. But there's a king instead of a queen.
But I didn't think that Henry ever blew Alex. I thought it was always the other way around. I don't know why I always thought that Alex was the one.
Usually they would both do it in scenes. Like,
got you. I think because they took out the whole he had never been with a dude thing, like other ways.
Sexually. Yeah. Like, full on. Yeah.
I guess because
up his,
they took out Alex's first time giving a blowjob thing. But again, because they took out never being with a dude, they had to take that out too, which was unfortunate.
And then Henry's mom wasn't in it.
The other issue I had too was their first time banging was different. Because I believe we talked about it. They banged after karaoke when they were drunk, I believe.
So what they did with the karaoke thing, they
banged way before that.
Instead of having two separate trips, they combined the trips and made both trips to Texas, and they did karaoke in Texas instead.
I will say, this is my one comment about the sex scene. there was more sensuality in the movie than in the book. I literally felt nothing in the book. And watching it, because it's visual, so I can see it happening, in the book, I hated it. I thought the sex scene was stupid and it was very glossy.
Well, because
At
it was
least-
fake closed door. It was
Right.
still fake closed door in the movie too.
I understand, but I felt I got more out of the scene in the movie than I did in the book.
Nah,
I liked it
I
better.
got the same.
See,
In fact, I think I got less because their connection seemed so forced.
See, and I didn't feel that way, so that might be
Yeah.
why I connected with it more.
And to me, most of it was Henry.
Yeah, I
That seemed
guess
like it was a force. He seemed so uncomfortable
Yeah,
with on screen.
yeah, because Alex was just like chill as a goddamn.
That's what I meant.
cucumber.
He seemed like he was vibing with everyone, but
Um,
Henry seemed like he was super uncomfortable.
No, I just thought that the sex scene was cute and lovely and better. I didn't really enjoy Alex in the book that much. Like, I just didn't like his attitude, I guess, and I liked Henry a lot.
They did mature Alex in the movie a little more.
But yeah, so I did have an opinion about the mom. I did change it a little bit towards the end, but I said somehow his mom is less motherly in this movie than the book. And I didn't think that was possible because she was until like the endings, another scene. But like prior to that, I'm like, bitch, when he was like talking to her and he goes, fine, Madam President, and walks out the door. And he goes, by the way, it was 27. 27 was how old? You can ask any female in this office. And like that whole scene, it was great.
Like she was losing touch with her. Yeah. Which was not how I felt was her character written. But on that note, I do feel like that plot hole was kind of fixed where they sent him to Texas instead of on the campaign trail. They sent him to Texas to rally and campaign for voters there by himself. But she made a big deal in the beginning how it was 14 months until election at the beginning of the movie.
This time went by fast.
Because it was not really 14 months. They fucked up because all of a sudden they went from like September or whatever. No, maybe it was 14. Well, I was gonna say
the timeline was fast. I mean, the movie went fast.
The timeline was weird.
The timeline was weird.
It was better laid out in the book.
So I did find it funny when Henry goes, technically I'm the spare. And I'm like, that's funny and true. I am glad we didn't get as much Philip in this movie though, because I fucking hated him in the book. Hated him. We got him a little bit. I liked this Zara better. I don't know why.
I feel like her role wasn't very defined though.
It wasn't
because she wasn't as fleshed out.
It wasn't, but her calling him Little Lord Fuckleroy was fucking hilarious. It was great. When all that happened and she found him in the other thing too is the closet scene is different. When
a little bit, yeah.
Because he doesn't tumble out of it. Of course, he doesn't also make the joke about coming out of
being
the
closet,
in the closet,
right?
But like, it just, she did have like a weird reaction because I didn't think she was hyperventilating in the book. Was she? Okay.
No,
because she was like hyperventilating.
That's not true to her character.
No, but she was hyperventilating in.
But we didn't really get a sense of her character in this movie, so it could have been true to her movie character.
Yeah. So we get to a point where I did make a comment about a change that I really did enjoy. There was, like I said, there were some changes I liked. I think that this better handled his coming out to his mom better than the book did. We already know I had an issue with it where she went into self-preservation mode, created a PowerPoint. There were no PowerPoints. I think she made a joke about the PowerPoint though.
She did. She had more time. She'd make one.
But it just, I felt like the way that the mom in...
Though I didn't like all the inserted ads.
Oh my God.
We'll get you on Truvada. We'll get you on.
I mean, well, like, she's just prepping him so that...
I know, but those are paid, like...
I understand that. But I think that it was handled much better in the movie, so I'm glad for that part because it did humanize her more to me. Whereas, you know, earlier she was less motherly. I don't know what happened between then and this, but I'm happy for it because in the book, she handled it, in my opinion, poorly. And in the movie, I liked it a lot better. I'm like, but wait, she didn't kick him off the campaign in the movie at all. So
because he wasn't on the campaign in the movie.
Yeah, exactly. So I did like that bit of a change. And then I said, oh, look, placement for the author's other books. But that was obvious. And I know that the author is in the movie. She has a cameo in the movie.
Is she?
Yeah, I don't remember where it was. I had seen it though. And I did say, yay, karaoke. And Alex gets his little love eyes going at karaoke too.
But he doesn't make your favorite joke because there wasn't all people around. Yeah.
I know.
Because there wasn't the bromance between him and Nora, so.
I know. I guess he didn't need to come out to his dad. That was so glossed over. He didn't have to say anything. His dad's just like, oh, how's Henry? This. And he goes, oh, I thought you were going to go out. He did say the Catholic line on him, but I was like, cool. So I guess they're just going to be like, sounds great. And that was it. I did think it was funny that Henry literally jumped in the water to avoid Alex telling him he loved him. Accurate.
Well, he did that in the book.
I know. Yeah. That's why I said accurate. Still funny.
Yeah.
It's still funny. That's when I was like, oh, no, Henry's mom. But I was happy about
Though I thought that was strange because he just took off and left Pez there. Whatever the heck his real name is that they don't call
no one
him Pez
gives
in
a
the
shit
movie.
about. No one gives a shit about the side characters in the movie, Ariel.
Percy, I know.
No one cares.
And they changed up all the timelines and stuff at the end with he didn't fly to London directly after to like go get him. There wasn't the speech during the election. There wasn't all that extra stuff. But I do want to say that in the book, they kind of made a big deal about him using pet names, and it was like a cute thing for him. And like it was whatever in the book, but they made mentions of it. There was no mentions of anything in the movie, and they didn't use them in the movie until that one phone call where he went, baby, and it was so cringe. Oh my gosh, it was so weird, and it was such a cringe moment that
I know Henry
was weird.
Yeah, I know Henry dropped some pet names throughout the movie. I caught them, but they weren't like.
But it wasn't like that.
No, that was really. I felt really awkward about that too.
It wasn't like that.
Another character who wasn't big in this movie at all is Bay. B.
Yeah.
Nothing. They got nothing to her. She was in there, but like you didn't get any.
She wasn't. She was just nothing.
Yeah. I did.
Why does Henry get to keep all his siblings and Alex get to keep none of his siblings?
I don't know. I liked the art museum at night after their fight. I liked visually seeing all of that. I did have one issue though with it, is there's a music change from the book to the movie.
It probably had to do with licensing or whatever.
It could have, but the song choice was very deliberate. Choosing Your Song by Elton John.
Yeah.
To switching it to I Can't Help But Falling in Love with You. It still fits the scene, but I just feel I didn't like it. I didn't like the change at all. I mean, it was still a cute dance. It was still a cute little scene. If you specify, figure it out. And they exchanged the key in the ring. Alex didn't keep both of them.
Correct.
Which is weird. And of course, no Luna, which was so annoying. I also fucking hated Miguel, the journalist. I hated him. He was so slimy and disgusting. And I understand that that's supposed to take the place of the whole hacked. I didn't like it because it's just scorned lover decides to go scorched earth and tank your shit. Because Alex didn't want to sleep with him at all. And then Miguel's like, oh, and he got that.
Yeah.
I
think it was more of him just being a slimy journalist.
Yes and no, because Alex turned him down and he saw him walk off with Henry and he got that look on his face ooh, he was a slimy journalist, but Alex didn't want to hook up with him. And he tried this whole movie to bang Alex the whole time. And Alex was like, no, it's not going to happen. And then that's
you can't make that happen.
I hated it. I did like him getting called out by the media and he goes, what are you implying? And she goes, well, isn't it a little coincidental that the emails got leaked at this time and you wrote your story? So how did you read all of those? And then he was like,
and they changed the numbers on the electoral and they made it so that all the very, very heavy-handed Republican jokes throughout the book were not included in the movie. Yeah. And they basically made the public be voting for this guy who they knew was a fraud and they knew was somebody who was attacking the presidential family, and they were voting for him anyways. And they did not do that, which I thought was, funny.
Alex's speech to the media
very different.
Was very different. I mean, I liked it, But at the same time, like,
it was just very different.
I did like when they're like, I could hug you, and Zara goes, touch me and die. And I was like,
solid, man.
Solid. And there was no fake dating with this at all.
Nope.
None.
Nope.
Zero. And the part that I liked in the book, there was no joint statement together, which I think Alex's statement took place of their joint statement together.
Yeah.
But I felt that the joint statement together was more impactful than just Alex saying it, because you have two men coming together to make the statement about their relationship. I didn't like that change at all. I did still like how they kept in you could see the sea of people of support outside of the palace, which was really cool. I enjoyed it. I don't think that the king was as mean as the queen was in the book, which I kind of am happy about. It was still you need to be 100% sure type of thing, but I mean, they still went on about the whole, you got to keep those locked away and no one can see it, blah, blah, blah. And then, but I did like all those.
Blah, blah,
blah, blah. We say that a lot.
Blah, blah, blah.
Bloody blah.
I get Oh, you look like you got some kind of weird butt plug tail going on in the background. Like, what is that?
Wig.
I've been looking at it for like 5 minutes. Oh, like, what the fuck? What are you
wig.
into now?
It's a wig, first of all. It's always there. It's always
like,
there.
Spencer chasing you around the house playing like horsey or something.
No, I fucking hate you. God, it's always in the background. It's always there.
The way that it's like.
It's because I have my window open, but it's always there. I have not moved it. It's in every single time we do this. Oh
I don't know. I bet maybe it's just the angle that I'm at right now.
Anyways. So overall, I enjoyed the movie for what it was. I'm trying to move past this because you're being such an asshole.
It's not like I'm not going to unsee it. I was just looking for clarification on what it was. You clarified, so it's all good. You don't want the world to see your butt.
It's not. You're such an asshole. You want to see something so fucking funny, though, speaking of butt stuff?
Well, this whole movie is speaking of butt stuff.
I went to this gamer bar with Spencer, and they have those like vending machines. I don't know if you've ever seen them. They have like this, which is bag of dicks, and you just open
must be pretty small when they're.
Oh yeah, they're candy dicks. There's a pin that says cocksucker on it, and there's a koozie with a flying dick on it, and a sticker that says I love dick. So this is
a great episode to.
I know, this is perfect. That's why I'm whipping these out.
Can we talk about the only nudity in this movie? Was a weird man butt running through a hotel room, and it was like weird hairy man butt.
I mean, most men butt are hairy. But in a movie, I understand. I know.
I'm just saying.
But
I was shocked to see it because I was like, that looks like a real man butt. No,
it was a real man butt.
But that's literally what came across my mind. I was like, that looks like a real live man butt, not a movie man.
So funny. So I took it upon myself to look up the ratings for this movie. I pulled up 3 different ones.
Oh, yeah. It probably has Rotten Tomatoes or something.
So I have IMDb, which gives it a 7.1 out of 10. Amazon is a 4.7 out of 5.
Oh, out of 5.
Yeah, out of 5.
I was like, well, because usually movie ratings end up being out of 10. So when you said 4.7, I was like.
Well, that's why I said 4.7 out of 5. And then it just took
my
your
brain
brain
just
a
didn't
minute.
Catch up yet. Yeah.
But Amazon always does out of 5.
Always does out of 5. Right. Yeah.
And Rotten Tomatoes is a 77%. So it's relatively highly rated, all things considered.
It wasn't a bad movie in general. We're just looking at it as a comparison.
And I think that because of how much of a following the book has had, that maybe people rated the movie higher because of it. I don't know. Yeah. I'm not going to put my words in those people's mouths, but I'm just saying sometimes that happens. Sometimes people will rate a movie higher just because it's a movie based off of a book they read, you know? Yeah,
because they enjoyed the book right.
I'm going to give it out of 5. I'm not going to go out of 10 because I don't want to do math. I'm going to give it a 3.5 for me, which is higher than the book, but I just liked some of the changes that they made in.
I'm gonna give it 3 out of 5.
There you go. Yeah. So I mean,
because I enjoyed it. There were some things I didn't like. Some things I liked that they changed. I'm just gonna say I liked it. I wasn't overly wowed.
No, I wasn't like, oh my
so-
God, let me rewatch this movie again.
No, I would not watch it again. That's why I'm giving it a 3.
Yeah, overall, I mean, it was fine. It's not the best book to movie adaptation I've ever seen in my life because they did take a lot of liberties and made a lot of changes to parts of the book I thought were kind of integral to the book itself and the story.
Mm-hmm.
So making those changes kind of seems like a weird choice, but I mean, it was fine. Maybe I'm just not on the hype train of this because I didn't really fully enjoy the book either. So maybe this is just not for me. This is not my journey. This can be for you. It's just not for me.
The journey is over.
The journey is over. But seriously, like it may not be for me. It may not be for Ariel. It could be for you. Who knows? Again, like I said,
because the book was good on its own if you went into it not expecting a
YA book.
If you went into it not expecting a smutty read. If you went into it expecting, like, knowing what you were expecting, it was fine. It had a little bit of comedy in it. It had a cute little connection. I would say the book was cute. I wouldn't say it was earth-shattering or, you know what I mean? It was cute. That's how I would term it. It was cute.
Yeah, no, it was cute. And there were some cute little, listen, their kiss though gave me little toe curlies in the movie. But I didn't get any of that.
I felt like that in the book. So.
But again, that's how we differ.
And I didn't get that.
But
yeah.
But I just, like I said previously when we were talking about the book, I just feel like I personally am probably not the intended demographic of this book. So for me, it was fine, but it's not like, oh my God, I need to read everything by this author. I need to read all of these things. I need to reread this book. I know people who have read this book way more times, like a lot. It's not for me. I don't even typically reread a lot of books. Once I've read them, I'm usually just done with the book.
Yeah.
I'm not a book rereader.
The only time I typically reread is like series and stuff. If there's like a new one that came out and it was a really long time and I'm that invested and interested that I want to get caught up, or there has been a spin-off to a series and I'm that invested and I want to get caught up, and it has been long enough.
Yeah.
Like I might read a book that I read 5 years ago because a new series came out that's connected to it. You know what I mean? And I want to get back into that world in that mindset and give it its proper. That's when I'll reread stuff.
Yeah. What a time. But that was that.